General Radan is a mandatory boss that you will need to fight in the region of Caelid, and you can access them by going through a portal in the Redmane Castle. Upon defeating them, similar to Godric, you will receive a great rune that has to be activated at a divine tower for you to be able to use it, so let's go do that. The easiest way to the divine tower is to go to Dragonbarrow West in the north of Caelid, and from that site of grace, you can head northeast towards the divine tower, although it is a little bit tricky in terms of how you actually get up there. This great rune that we're about to activate is very useful, by the way. It will grant you more HP, FP, and stamina, which is just basically an overall buff to your character. Unfortunately, it doesn't make you any stronger, so you still will need to be pretty good against bosses if this is the great rune you plan to use. But the additional stamina will definitely help you if you are a hand-to-hand combat type of player, or the extra FP will help you if you are casting a lot of spells. As you approach the Divine Tower, you'll notice that there is a cliffside with a couple of branches and roots that fan out, and you can use your steed here, Torrent, to ride these to the edge of the building. There will be some enemies here, and make sure they don't knock you off, so you always want to get behind them and make sure the building is behind you just in case they do hit you. And there will be a bunch of ladders we'll need to climb as well. After you climb a ladder, you'll have to transfer from side to side. The best way to do this is to get on your steed and then double jump and basically use these arches in the building's face to get from side to side, continuing to climb up the ladders. Now, since this is a From Software game, it does seem like some of the ladders are just kind of trolls that lead to nothing, so keep that in mind as well. If you do see an enemy, generally you will have to go in that direction and fight that enemy, and that means you are going the correct way. Make sure you're also utilizing your double jumps when possible, and watch out when you're on the edge here, especially when you're rolling or sprinting. It can be very easy to just basically roll off the edge and, you know, end up on the dark side, so to say. Eventually, you'll climb the last ladder and then end up at the top where you'll find a site of grace. You'll obviously want to activate that. And then you can go through a door, ride an elevator, and end up at another site of grace at the top of the Divine Tower. This wasn't something I mentioned in my video for Godric's Ruin, but if the door is locked, it's because you haven't defeated the boss whose ruin you are trying to activate. In this case, go and fight Radan if you don't have the door available to unlock for you. But once you do reach the top, you'll come into this kind of arena and you can restore the Great Rune. However, as I stated before, we are not quite done yet. You will have to go to a site of grace in order to put that rune in your rune slot if that's the one you want to use, and then to actually get the effect of additional HP, FP, and stamina, you will have to consume a rune arc to see it happen. You'll notice in the top left of the screen that all three of those bars will get bigger as I consume the rune arc.